Record. Recording 1A.
All right. My name is Amy Ersenbach, and I'm the director of World Strides Heritage Performance, the Dance Cheer Division. Super excited, Mandy. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Mandy, as everyone should know, is a 4-time Emmy nominee. She works on Dancing with the Stars, Hollywood films, So You Think You Can Dance, and of course Las Vegas shows, and much, much more. That's half of what keeps you busy in the dance world. You've certainly won over the world with your choreography. We're so lucky to be able to work with you with World Strides Heritage Performance in our bowl game event. So thank you for being here with us.
I'm so excited. I've been with you guys for, I guess, 6 years now. And it's just every year I come back, I feel like I'm back to the family, and I always love working with you guys.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is going on your 7th bowl game where
Yes.
you'll be at the Holiday Bowl in
Yes.
San Diego.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I'm back at the Holiday Bowl.
Yes.
I've been kind of ping-ponging back and forth. You know, I started with the Orange Bowl my first year, and then I've been back there 2 more times. So I've done Orange Bowl 3 times and Holiday Bowl twice. This will be my 3rd time for Holiday Bowl. And
Wonderful.
then Liberty Bowl once in Memphis with a lot of great barbecue and great dance. And then I also did the Indy 500, which was the first time you guys did that this year. So I was lucky enough to be the first one.
Yay. So fabulous. You really are part of the family. Going through those events that you've done with us in the past, tell us a little bit about what are the pros and amazing things that you love about the Holiday Bowl, Indy 500, and Orange Bowl, Liberty Bowl.
I think that, they're each really different events, and I think they bring a different kind of clientele. So, as a choreographer, I experience different things in each event. The Orange Bowl for me, I always love because it's live TV, there's a live artist, there's kind of that frenetic energy of everyone really getting ready for the game and the performance, and it's always a little crazy, but when the lights go down and that artist starts the first notes and the kids are standing on the field, I've never felt anything like that before. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming because you think all this hard work that everyone's put in, and then there's this artist and there's the cameras and everyone's excited. So I love that fact that it's a live performance. Liberty Bowl was much in the same venue when I did that. We had a live performance as well. It wasn't at night, so it was still when the light was out, which was a very different process too, because I was kind of waiting for the moodiness of the evening, but then it was more like a fun kind of a thing. I felt like everyone was ready for the halftime show to start, and then all the kids were jamming with their pom-poms, and it was just everyone was cheering, and that was a really great event. The Holiday Bowl, I love the fireworks at the Holiday Bowl.
Yes.
But we kind of get I like that the performance is to track. So, sometimes Doug will ask me questions about if you like this music or what songs, and so we get to kind of choose a medley of songs. Then of course I have the band there on the field with us as well. And plus it's a nice mix of dance and cheer at Holly Bowl, which I don't always get in the other events that I do. And then Indy we were small this year, but we had a great time. I felt like that event, the kids came in knowing their choreography. They performed at the parade, and they were all so excited to be on this space, and then all the people in the grandstands. And I think for some of these kids, they'd never really experienced anything like that. And I think it was a little bit overwhelming and exciting because they all finished by the end. And I remember them just being that was so much fun. They were couldn't handle it.
Yes. Geeking out. Do you find our events are a mix of all ages, from some of as young as 7 up to 21? Do you find pulling those halftime shows together, what are the benefits of having the mix of different ages and kind of variety of dance levels and experience there?
Yeah, at the events at World Strides Heritage Performance, I do find that there's a huge mix between level of dancer, age of dancer, kind of dancer. And what I think is brilliant about these shows is that it gives you an opportunity to kind of find the balance between all of them. So yes, someone that is 7 is going to have a little bit of a hard time, but matched with a 15-year-old who knows what they're doing in this kind of team effort situation, people rise to the occasion. And I don't know if I'm really explaining how beautiful it is when you see all these kids who have been working in their separate studios in their schools across the country, when they all come together and the first time we put on that music in the rehearsal room and they all just start doing the movement. It's a really cool feeling. And then, of course, I'm crazy and I am always get in your lines and make it happen. But I also have a lot of fun, as you know.
Yes.
Then for them to get out on the fields, again, I think some of them have never experienced something like this. I know as a kid, I never did. I never got to go out on a huge venue field like that and perform with a bunch of people. So it's a really cool opportunity.
It really is. And thinking about, like, you think you have an idea of what 60, 70, 80,000 fans is, but once you stand on that field, even as an adult, and you and I have stood on that field a lot of times at this at this point in our careers, it's amazing. Like, you have no idea how many people that is and how loud and excited the fans really are for the performance.
Yeah, they all sing along, and then, because obviously people are there to have a good time. They're there to support their teams, but the halftime show ends up being another level of that experience for them. And so you look up and you just see people, like cheering and like hugging with their friends and singing the lyrics to the song. And then the kids are so happy, and they're, we talk a lot about, or I talk a lot about them performing up to all the, all the fans that are out there, because so many times in dance, you just are performing for the people standing in front of you. And we talk a lot about like making sure I want that person in the last row to feel like you're looking at them, because then they're going to be involved in the performance and they're going to enjoy it as well.
Wonderful. Now, talking about, you've done the Orange Bowl a lot in the past. Liberty Bowl was a little bit more dance the year you did it, as well was Indy. In terms of Holiday Bowl, where we're mixing dancers and cheerleaders, what do you love about that aspect? Do you add stunting, tumbling in it, or what do the cheerleaders bring to the aspect of the halftime show?
I think in the Holiday Bowl, since it's a nice mix of cheer and dance, I've found that I love that I get to know about cheer, because I wasn't a cheerleader growing up, and I respect so much what cheerleaders are able to do. I mean, I was an athlete, so I think I would have been that girl that like was tossed up and the basket toss. I really feel like I would have been that girl. But I like being able to integrate the cheer and the dance together in moments where, maybe I'll have the dancers lined up in lines doing some really cool dance thing, and then bring the cheer teams down and have them do what they do, because I know that's part of what makes them cheer teams, is that they're able to stunt and they're able to do these kinds of things that the dancers don't necessarily bring to the table. So, it's a challenge as a choreographer for sure, but I think, when it works, it's really, really great. I remember a couple years, I guess it was the second time, we did this, we did Don't Stop Believin' was one of the songs, and I just had this vision, great song, had this vision of, on every yard line having a stunting pod, and I wanted all of them to be like perfectly together on like don't stop, and like do these like huge basket tosses. And I remember thinking like, oh my gosh, if we don't make this work, like if it's off, it won't look good. But then all the kids did. I kept telling them like, oh, if you don't do that right, like yeah. And I remember actually during the performance, they all hit their like Liberty or whatever it was on the note. I started like tearing. I was like, this is amazing that these kids are doing this. I know.
That's awesome. Yeah. Great. Tell me a little bit about other World Strides choreographers that you've had the opportunity to work with that have been at our events. At the Orange Bowl, we have our full dance convention, so you're not just doing the halftime show, you're also teaching classes. Are there other choreographers that have stood out to you in terms of like really great and awesome with the kids?
Yeah, I love that you guys have integrated this kind of classroom element to these events, because I think it is one thing to just come in and learn choreography and be a part of a great event. Cool, that's great. But then when you actually get to train with great choreographers, that's a whole nother thing. Last year at Orange Bowl, I got to teach with Lauren Frodeman, who is like my sweetest little munchkin of all time. I've trained her since she was very, very young. Yay. And to see her grow up into being such a great teacher is amazing, and to see the kids respond to her. I love Stacey Tukey, of course. You guys have had Stacey out.
Yes.
Dee Caspery is a good friend of mine. I've worked with him many, many times, and for him to be able to do these games with you guys, I was like, all right, Dee, this is going to be awesome. You're going to get in there, and he loves it.
Now, Dee, you started out dancing with, is that right?
Yeah, I used to dance for Dee, and many a time, many an experience, many a class. So
I love the full circle of that.
Yeah.
Tell me, you work with a lot of amazing and professional people. In terms of this performance, that's a different level of dancers. How does this affect you personally? At the end of the day, when you're done and you're like, yes, they hit their liberties, it's a great show, what do you walk away with personally?
I think I love seeing people go from point A to point B in whatever situation it is, and there's something about being a coach for that, or being a leader for that for people, that's really, really engaging and amazing for me. So I look at this situation and I come into an event and I think, okay, these kids are coming from everywhere. They don't know each other. There's maybe a team of 50 kids that have been competing their whole life together and they're amazing. And then there could be a group of 4 kids that just decided that they wanted to come and do this. Or one kid who just came in and wanted to be a part of this. To try and gather all of that together and get everybody moving in the same direction, and then ultimately reach whatever that goal is there's nothing more satisfying. I mean, for me, I always, that next morning, I just think, wow, like we did it again. You know, like there's this moment of them. I felt like they came away with a positive experience. I came away with a positive experience, and that's all you can really hope for.
You talked a little bit about the classroom element and the end experience and that sort of thing. Why do you feel like this is the best experience for performers of all skill levels and all, regardless of what's happening at the studio or in their high school dance classroom? Why do you feel like this is the best experience?
Well, I think this experience, you're expected to do some things that I think are invaluable when it comes to being a dancer. You're expected to learn choreography and execute it well. You're expected to dance amongst other people with respect, which is another huge thing. You're expected to perform for the thousands of people that are going to be watching you, and in turn, if you do a good performance, will make their day and make their lives better. Yes. And then on top of it, you get this element of being vulnerable as a student. Like you get to come in and learn from these outside people and take that information back to your school or to your studio and make everybody grow from that situation. So I feel like it's a win-win, again, for everyone, that anytime you put everybody together and you have a positive experience, everyone will go out and radiate that positivity wherever they go.
That's awesome. What
Can
advice?
we cut and then?
Yeah.
Sorry, let's just cut.